CEO of Phonex Broadband Corporation. It's a high-technology company based in Salt Lake City that develops power line home networking products for connecting today's technology without the need for
This is wrong.
additional
This is
wire.
wrong.
They now have sold over 10 million individual devices or units. Mr. Knab's career has always allowed followed technology with his first 10 years fulfilling assignments with the IBM Corporation, followed by a 5-year opportunity with GTE Corporation as national director there. He made the transition from corporate to a venture entrepreneur venture life. In 1989, when he became CEO of the Phonex Broadband Corporation. His greatest adventure, and this is kind of interesting, I think. His greatest adventure as a young man was embarking upon a bicycle trip from Salt Lake City to the Hill Cumorah pageant in Palmyra, New York, covering a total of 2,700 miles in 3 weeks. John has a BA in Communications from BYU with an MBA from Emory University in Atlanta, Georgia. He's a gold-level member of the Entrepreneur Founders of the Center for Entrepreneurship here at this Marriott School, and is also a member of the National Advisory Council of the Marriott School. And John has 5 children, all of who either are or have been at BYU, except for the last one who's still in high school. I assume that she'll be headed there too. So it's my pleasure to introduce the speaker, John Knab.
Thanks, Ed. Appreciate it. Great, thanks. Well, this is great to be back on campus. This is a fun lecture we're going to do. It's a little different than other lectures where the presenter talks about themselves and their business and their personal successes. This is all about you, and it's you taking ideas to the market, even while you're a student. So as we go through this today, don't be thinking futuristic. Hey, this is great material for one day when I get out of school. My proposition is you can do it now and do that. I just wanted to introduce a couple of personal guests. First, James Knab's my son. James, you want to stand? He'll be graduating in December here in finance. He just married 2 months ago, and he's got some job offers and exciting beginnings for his life. And I would have liked to have grabbed a few more inches of his DNA because he's, I think, 6'7". And then just 2 days ago on the St. George grounds, I proposed to a wonderful woman, Robin Finnegar. Robin, do you want to stand in the back? I know she's dying that I'm doing this. Lost my wife a while back to cancer, to lung cancer, and it's just wonderful to have this opportunity going forward and exciting. So we're going to talk about transferring ideas, and I'm going to read you a really horrible quote. This is sad, okay? It's right here on the board. Buried here are all the ideas never invented, all the great products never made, all the bestsellers never written, masterpieces never painted, innovations never completed, and dreams never fulfilled. That's pretty sad. So I'm here to reverse that trend of dreams that you may have, ideas you may have, that without some motivation and without some skills and without some tools may never happen. They just may stay in your head. And so that's our mission today. I have to tell you that there's very few of you that will take action on your ideas. And I've calculated my own non-empirical study. I just happen to believe it's 1 in 100,000 people will be active players in taking their ideas to market. So in a group this size, obviously, we're only talking 1 or 2 of you in this whole room that would possibly be a person that would take action. So I don't know who you are, so I have to talk to all of you. And hopefully we'll cover some interesting things, but there's one or two of you that are going to take today's discussion to heart, and you're going to leave this room and you're going to do something, and it's going to move to action. This was an actual quote from the U.S. Patent Office director at the turn of the century. He really believed that everything that can be invented has been invented, and he recommended that the President of the United States close the patent office. Now, anybody here believe that today? That everything that could be invented really has been invented now, and you're a little late to the game, and there probably isn't much that you could contribute? I hope not, because it's just getting started. What's been done so far in the world is going to get eclipsed by what's coming with ideas, and that's what we want to instill in you. All right, this is your chance. It's fun to hear ideas from you. Everybody in this room has had ideas. Everyone. There's not a soul that hasn't had ideas. And what we'll do is those who are willing to play, we'll bring you up here, and the winner will get a prize from Phonex Corporation, and you'll be the judge of the winner. And the judging criteria is just simply how viable is that idea? You know, it can be a simple idea. It can be the most rudimentary, simple idea, or it can be this big, complex thing. Okay? So we'll open it up, and we'll maybe bring up 2 to 4 of you, depends. And if you'll just raise your hands if you want to play. Who's got an idea? Okay, a young man right here. Why don't you come on up here to the microphone? It's really fun to talk about ideas, and we'll be open-minded, okay?
Come on.
Yeah, come on up, because the camera needs to hear your voice. Right up there.
Okay, here's my idea. When I was in Weeble Scouts, like Cub Scouts, me and this other kid, we had this idea to have a pacifier that would have like a weight on the back of it, so it falls out of a little kid's mouth. The little nipple part of the pacifier doesn't hit the ground.
All right. So if you'll stand over there. Contestant number 1. All right. Yes, come on up. And then why don't you come on up in the back?
Well, to fit with the customizable desires of a lot of young women, what I was thinking about doing was doing a kiosk where you can actually make your own perfumes. So what it would be is you can mix and match different scents and different flowers, different fruits, different citrus things, and then you actually get a sample of it right there on the spot. And if you enjoy it, then the money that you pay towards for the sample goes towards your own bottle of that perfume.
Great. Thank you. Where's our number 3 contestant? Here he comes. Okay, ladies, we need a lady, so be thinking as we need a lady in this contest.
I had this idea that we could revamp the style of vending machines that we use in this country, and we could make them involve some sort of lottery element. So when you buy something, you have like, I don't know, it'd be pre-programmed. Let's say everything comes like A5, but then there's a number for whichever slot it's in. Let's say you get A5, the 6th one. Well, then you get like $2 back. And so people will be more inclined to use these vending machines because there's a chance that they'll get money and then in turn be able to buy more things. So it really wouldn't be losing much.
All right. Thanks. All right. Come on up.
Mine's really simple. It's just putting a cancel button on an elevator so when you push the wrong floor, you can cancel it instead of waiting for the door to open.
Okay. So by applause, we will see if we can determine our winner. So our first one is the pacifier. Let's hear from the pacifier. Okay. All right, very good. That was a pretty good pull. Who was the next one?
Yeah, perfume.
Perfume kiosk. Okay, we're running a close tie here. Okay.
Vending machines.
Okay. And the elevator button. Okay. I think it was the perfume kiosk. No, just kidding. Congratulations. You are the winner.
Thanks.
All right. If you'll get me your name and mailing address, we'll mail you something that I think you're going to like.
Awesome. Thanks.
It is really fun to share ideas, and some of them are really wild. I remember one student thought it would be awesome to have a dog doorbell. So instead of the dog scratching away at the door, there's a little plate, and the dog learns to push its nose against the plate, and the doorbell rings. And that way, somebody will come and get the dog. So I hear some interesting ones. But we're going to talk about some really great ones, too. The first thing I would recommend if you really want to become a person that plays in the world of ideas and making ideas happen is to have an idea log. This is so simple. Almost all of you carry a spiral notebook or a computer notebook with you. How many ideas have come to you over your lifetime and you've since forgotten them? And how many have you ever, by raise of hands, how many of you have ever had an idea that years later it actually showed up in the marketplace? Okay, the hands that went up, you are honestly visionaries, and you are inventors. You just didn't act on it. So if you're a visionary and you're an inventor, you've got to act on that when you get that. It means you have a gift. So you capture ideas and you write them down. It's that simple to keep an idea log, and I highly recommend it. Here's some sources for new ideas. Some of you like to go to trade shows. I recommend going to the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas in January. That's where all the new stuff is being showcased to the world. And that's the show I participate in, and I go every year. 100,000 people and thousands of vendors. And they even have a section called New Innovations, which they've been awarded the newest, greatest innovations coming to the world. It's a great place to get ideas. BYU and other schools have business plan competitions. I recommend going to them. You can see these others, building better mousetraps and discovering unmet needs and your vision and keeping an idea log. I guess what I'm after is having you get your mind always on to ideas, that you'll get these impulses. Now, if you're in the middle of a fascinating accounting class and this great idea hits your head, I recommend jumping to your file called the idea log and type in a sentence. Capture that idea, and then go back to your accounting class. Don't even let the class end without writing down your idea. Now, in this idea log, you are going to have a compelling idea come along. Let's say most of them won't be, but you are going to have one that's going to be compelling. When you know that, like, wow, that's an amazing idea. This is actually something that will help you with the patent office. Make a sketch or drawing of your idea on a piece of paper, date it, and grab a couple of roommates, and they actually have to write this down, read and understood, and then have them sign it. The patent office will recognize 2 witnesses that sign a sketch or drawing that understood your invention idea. Try that. It'll actually help you if somebody else filed a patent close to when you were doing it, and they might have edged you out. This document could save you. And it's that simple. I'll share with you a template I use for picking out a good idea. It's these 5 things. Now, this doesn't have to be the Bible, that you don't go forward on an idea without these 5. Number 1, scalable growth. That means your idea has to have potential to be enormous. To be absolutely enormous. If it doesn't, move on. There's plenty of other ideas waiting to be thought of that really are scalable. Number 2 is recurring revenue. That simply means try and think of something where somebody's going to pay you every month for what you have. That would be a cell phone or a cable TV or satellite TV or any subscription service of any kind. It's so much easier to have recurring revenue than a one-time. Strong gross margins. I know some of you aren't business students, but strong gross margins just means that you make a lot of profit per transaction. Life's much easier that way. Proprietary. I really believe in finding things that are unique and can be patented. And finally, mass appeal. If you want to go after just left-handed dentists in the country, that's up to you. I think you should go after mass appeal, where your idea just is universal. Has anyone in the room ever filed for a patent? Okay, we have one. Good. So you have some experience with it. Anyone else? This is something of a mystique to people, and there's no mystique about it. This is straightforward. If you have an idea, the patent office wants to know, is it new, is it useful, and is it non-obvious? And then there's a patent search site provided to you. There it is, uspto.gov. So any idea you have, even the dog doorbell, you can go on uspto.gov, search on that, and it will tell you if any patents have been filed. Try it. It is really fun. See if your idea, if you really are the first to think of it on the planet Earth, and you search, you can't find anything, it means you've actually thought of something that no one before you has thought of and acted upon. In most cases, you'll find other patents, and you will have to see if you still have a place to play. Thomas Edison is known as the inventor of electricity, and he filed a patent for such last century. Who was the person that had the exact same idea, but filed just 3 hours after Mr. Edison? How many know him? You know him? Yeah. Yeah, Elijah Gray. How did you know that? All right, a trivia buff. The rest of us have no idea who Mr. Gray is. He's a German, but he was 3 hours behind Mr. Edison in filing, and nobody on the planet knows this guy. He was 3 hours away from being world famous for electricity. So timing of filing is critical. If you're onto a compelling idea and you say to yourself, I'm a student, modest means, maybe when I get out of school I'll file a patent on that. No, you file it. Go hard. Speed to market. Here is a book I recommend. I'm not tied to this book or this publisher, but it's awesome. It's called Patent It Yourself. It's $49, and you can get it on nolo.com. I really respect patent lawyers. And if you had the budget, I would say use a patent lawyer. Minimum $3,500 up to $15,000 to file a patent in a thorough context. If you do it, though, as a student, with this book, it would be $400. So I recommend, with the intellect you have to get into BYU, you can follow this book. You can fill in the blanks. You can follow the cookbook, pay your $400, and go for it. Go for your patent. About 190,000 patents are applied for every year in the U.S. Only 12,000 of them are do-it-yourself. So a small percent. But you would be in that club. As a student and with your intellect, you could do it. Matter of fact, I recommend it. I'm going to share with you a couple of amazingly simple, bordering on just embarrassing ideas that did well. Super Shield. You don't have to be high-tech. You don't have to be a geek. You don't have to be quantum physics oriented. This is a gentleman that escaped from Iran, lived in California, was in a townhome, and his little boy scratched the big screen TV they had. Permanent scratch. The man went down to Costco, no, it was Home Depot, bought some plexiglass and Velcro, and cut it to his TV size and put it on there, Velcroed it to the TV. Now the kid couldn't scratch the TV screen anymore. But he noticed it kind of improved the picture quality. It not just protected, but it smoothed out the pixel. And so he filed a patent with the U.S. Patent Office. And it was a simple patent. Plexiglass applied to a TV set. And he got it. He got the patent. I guess the Patent Office thought that was useful. Well, my associate in RCA, big consumer electronic giant, found the patent online, called the guy up, flew out to California, sat down with him and said, we like it. We'd like to do that for our large screen TVs with RCA branding, and offered to buy 100,000 of these kits. And he turned them down. and later found out it was a miscommunication. He thought he was offering $100,000 for the idea. He was offering 100,000 kits per year. And so they worked it out. And this gentleman who was trying to work his way into the American culture had this assignment each new year of measuring TV sets of RCA and sending the specifications to the factory at RCA, who would cut these plexiglass and Velcro things. And for that, he was granted a license of $1.5 million a year for that. Now, if you knew what I did at Phonex, which is really technical, and we have radios and we have 400 components in our products, and we have to get FCC permission to broadcast, and we have to have UL safety listings, and this is just not fair that somebody can just do plexiglass and Velcro and make that kind of money with such a low-tech, nonsensical, but useful. My point is, as students, what if you came up with this idea? What if you'd come up with the plexiglass and Velcro? Is that within your budget? Yes, it is. Could you have filed the $400 patent for it? You could have. If the RCA guy showed up at your dorm or your apartment, would you have cut a deal to license it to them for $1.5 million a year? Yeah, you probably would have done that. And you can do that. This isn't mystical stuff. This is just real things we're talking about. The other one happened at BYU, a soap dispenser. One of your business students came up with a plastic soap dispenser design. You open up the lids on top and you pour in conditioner, shampoo, and liquid soap. And then that mounts against the wall in the shower. And then you don't have to have all those bottles. He went to a professor here at the business school and said, would you like my plastic soap dispenser design? He was a marketing professor here, and the professor paid him $50,000 for it and for the rights to it. And went on and sold millions of that soap dispenser through Kmart, Walmart, Target, and the big box stores. How simple is that? A soap dispenser. Just a plastic mold. You stamp it out of a plastic mold and put it in a box. You don't need FCC. You don't need UL safety listings. You don't need anything. It's that straightforward. So I just want you to know that you don't have to have complex ideas. Here's some great ideas I've witnessed. At Phonex, we have a product called the wireless phone jack. This, you plug it into any electrical outlet, and it makes it a telephone outlet. You don't have to do anything but plug that in. DirecTV loves it. EchoStar Dish, satellite TV, loves it because behind TV sets they're trying to connect a modem, and they need a phone jack. And few people have that. So we're up to 15 million of these devices going out to market. 1-800-CONTACTS. Jonathan Coons was in this room presenting his business plan in a BYU competition, and he won. And many of us came up afterwards and said, Jonathan, you got to go do this business. This is not just a business plan idea. This is amazing. And unfortunately, he left school and went, when I say unfortunately, he didn't finish school, but he did okay. And 1-800-CONTACTS is a publicly traded company up in Draper, Utah. And Jonathan is a high net worth individual and has done very well. And what he does is he provides contact lenses to the marketplace via the mail. Has anybody used 1-800-CONTACTS? Okay, a number of you. Omniture, Josh James, CEO, when he was a junior at BYU, I was his mentor. And he had all these ideas. He was an idea guy. And he just had ideas. He'd call me every week. Idea, idea, idea. Unfortunately, I didn't like a lot of his ideas. The one he loved was a hairbrush that you put a net through it and Velcro it on the back of the handle of the brush. So when you're done brushing your hair, you can just pull the net through and pull all the hair out of the bristles of the brush. And he thought that was going to be his claim to fame. And he did okay with that one. But then one day he told me about his idea of analytics. What if I provided analytics services on website visits back to the big corporations out there to tell them what's happening and who's coming to their site and why, and just be very thorough? I thought it was amazing. And he raised $40 million of venture capital from Bank of America and went public on NASDAQ. And he ended up being the highest growth software company on NASDAQ against the biggest software companies out there. He's the youngest, most successful CEO on NASDAQ and has one of the more vibrant companies in Utah. And just a fabulous, fabulous company. And that was right here. I mean, that was one of your own. And he's bringing back a lot to BYU in terms of, you know, he's been very generous in coming back. Billiards EX was another business plan competition. They just thought they would source billiard tables out of China. Those big, beautiful wood ones, you know, the carvings and all that, but do it in a very affordable manner, and they've done very well. The next one is one of those that drives me crazy because I work so hard. Antique ragdoll. There was a young lady, BYU, came up with an antique ragdoll kit. And this kit comes, it's all cut out, and it has the stuffings, and it has the various eyes you can use, and all the different kinds of dresses and things. So you had some customization to the kit. And you would order this ragdoll kit, and you would assemble it, and then you'd have this beautiful antique ragdoll. And she went on Home Shopping Network. I showed her how to apply to Home Shopping Network, which is a trial basis. First of all, you have to make the cut with QVC and Home Shopping Network. You have to make the cut. You send in your idea, they either reject you or they invite you in. If they invite you in, you get literally 1 minute on camera, and you pitch your little product. And there's a counter right at your feet that you can see. And as you're pitching, you have to get $1,000 of orders in a minute, in 60 seconds. If you don't, you're out. You know, it's real simple. And as she presented her ragdoll kit, the thing just lit up. I mean, the counter was just, you know. So they gave her 10 minutes, and then they gave her 20 minutes, and then they gave her over 100 10-minute slots over time. And she ended up making a lot of ragdoll kits. And last I heard, she lives in Breckenridge, Colorado. She has a ranch. And all of it came from a ragdoll kit. Now, once again, how tough is a ragdoll kit? You know, once again, you don't need government intervention. You don't need FCC and UL and CE, and you don't have to have high-tech engineers, and you don't have to, you know, work with factories in China, and you just do ragdoll kits. And she's loving life. I helped this last group, Kuru Footwear. This was a business plan competition. These guys won the statewide competition. They just came up with a super lightweight shoe, outdoor shoe. I mean, really lightweight. You feel it. There's nothing there. But yet it gave you tremendous support through the ankle and midsole. So it was unique in the outlet. And they're actually building that company right now. So these are all things that hatched around here. This is not going outside of our domain. So what do you do with a great idea? If you really have a compelling idea, aren't you going to want to tell your friends, family, neighbors, if you're really excited about your idea? I recommend a non-disclosure agreement that they sign it, that they won't share it with others if you share it. Now, has anyone ever had an idea stolen from them that they know that was stolen in this room? Has anyone ever shared something you wish they hadn't have shared? Yeah, everybody. NDAs are really critical. They're simple. It just said, I will not disclose this idea. And you put a time frame on it, usually 3 years. If you're talking to the big boys, I would have them sign this. You know, if you're going into big companies, have them sign an NDA. Because you need to be protected. And I actually have a sample of it for you to use. I recommend a prototype. That just means a sample. Whatever it is you're talking about, try and have a sample of it. Send the project out to bid and select a factory and do a pilot run. Do you know how easy it is to approach China? That's another mystique area. Everybody thinks, ooh, how would I do that? How would I work with a continent all the way around the world? And how would I ever approach somebody to build my little product idea? It's very simple. You just come up with your bid of what you want, you send it to them, and they'll send you back a bid. They're hungry for business. They love U.S. ideas. I always like to use factories that don't build for themselves, only for others, and they don't market anything out the back door. It's just an outsourced shop. You know, don't touch factories that do hybrid things where they do their own stuff. That's dangerous. They will take it, steal it. have had great experience with Malaysia and China and Singapore and Indonesia and Argentina. These are great countries and great factories. Has anyone ever worked with a Chinese factory? And what was your experience?
Well, we did sourcing peepholes for doors, and it's obviously a Taiwanese factory.
Okay, so he's manufacturing peepholes for doors in Taiwan, though. Okay, and was it a good experience?
Yeah, actually, this factory is really easy to work with.
Okay, so he had a good experience. I think you'd be surprised how easy it is to work with the China folks and these other countries. They're great. If you're a student, they have a thing called Rent-A-Couch. If you don't want to spend $400 a night for a Hyatt hotel in Hong Kong, get online to rentacouch.com, find a family that looks good to you, and they charge $15 to sleep on their couch. And the only caveat is you have to let them personally, if they're in the United States and they want to sleep on your couch, you have to reciprocate for $15. And I've sent students over there that have spent 6 weeks in Hong Kong while they're visiting factories and things with the Rent-A-Couch program. It's kind of cool. And you get to get a profile of who it is and their place, and so you kind of know what you're getting yourself into. I really recommend licensing your idea, like we talked about with the Super Shield. So you come up with the patent and then license it and collect the royalties. This is a real thing that happens. There's people that search online all the time on patents of things they're interested in. So they'll find you. You don't have to go market this. They'll find you if you've got something that you've done. And I like partnering with the big, large distribution companies, the really big ones. For instance, Walmart. Do you realize you can take your idea to Walmart on their open vendor day? They have a day where anybody can come in with anything and pitch it to the buyers. There's some amazing stories that have come from this. Can you imagine if a Walmart buyer says to you, "I like it"? Guess what you have to do from there on out? Sign the dotted line. They will manufacture it. They will package it. They will ship it. They will distribute it. They will sell it in their stores. They will handle the warranty. They will handle everything. And you get the royalty check. And that is nirvana if you're an idea person, to have Walmart open vendor days, have them say, "I like it." Costco does the same thing up in Seattle. You go up on their open vendor day and pitch your idea. Home Shopping Network does it. QVC does it. There's lots of big shops that do this. And then I've listed some other opportunities. The profiting stage is really fun. Once you have a product go to market and you're collecting fees and royalties, you will be hooked on this. It is really, really fun. There's 3 agreements that I can provide you, and I put the website here. It's the Marriott School, you can see, BYU.edu/CFE. It's right on the front page. The Marriott School has let my packet be posted on the website. And it's about a 70-page packet that has NDA sample documents that you can use. It has contract manufacturing agreements. So when you do arrange with a factory somewhere in the world, this is an agreement. You could just use it. Fill in the blanks. And then a license agreement. So if RCA calls you up and wants to do a Super Shield deal, just use this license agreement. It is straightforward. Fill in the blanks and go. So just go to that website. There's a lot of other material in that packet to help you get your ideas going. So before we go to Q&A, let me just change these quotes a little bit from what we said earlier. How about this? Everything that has been invented will be eclipsed by what has yet to be invented. That's better than everything has been invented. Let's close down the shop. Now let's change that horrible first quote. This is the real quote. In this room are many of the ideas that will be invented, many great products to be made, bestsellers to be written, masterpieces to be painted, innovations to be completed, and so many dreams fulfilled. So to that one person, or maybe 2 in this room, I hope this day helped you cross the line, that you're going to fulfill a dream. You're going to take an idea forward. You're going to take action. You're going to do something with what you've been given today. This is my email address. I am a complimentary mentor to you. I don't take phone calls or personal visits. I just don't have time. But I do support you with email. And I welcome emails from anywhere in the world. We just did a worldwide broadcast this morning at BYU TV on this very subject. And so people all over the world are going to have the chance to share their ideas and their desires to be mentored and help take things to market. So if you're someone that wants to take action with your idea and want to be a player in this arena, then believe me, I'm all excited about that and willing to be available to help you. And I get personal satisfaction out of seeing people succeed in this arena. It's exciting. So what Q&A, what questions do you have about anything we've talked about today? We've covered a lot of arenas. Yes, sir.
How binding is a non-disclosure agreement? I've heard horror stories about things being stolen and no possible legal recourse.
So the question is how viable are NDAs? Can you really protect yourself with them? If your idea is truly compelling, there's going to be investors coming to help you with that. Those same investors will help you defend yourself if that NDA is breached, if somebody has stolen your idea. If you don't have the resources to defend yourself, then the NDA is not real valuable. You do need resources to fight. But if it's a compelling idea, there will be those that will come to your aid. Yes, sir.
You showed a lot of stories about young entrepreneurs here who have really got on the business world on their own. Now, do you have a stand on the licensing agencies helping the...
Yeah, the question is, should you use a licensing agency? I think when you dig into this, you're going to find out it's not that difficult if your idea is strong enough to arrange license. I'm not a big fan of licensing agents, personally. I know they have a value, but I'm not a big fan of them. I think you, as a BYU student, you've got the skill, you've got the intellect to cut a deal with a major company. And as a student, you don't get real greedy, because you're going to do very well if you get a license agreement of any kind with a big company. You'll be very happy, and so you don't have to fight it. Yeah, just send me an email. I'll get you the website on that. There's a website that tells you where to go. I really recommend going to the Center for Entrepreneurship here and ask them for some guidance and mentors that would help you get invested. These guys are amazing here on campus. I didn't have this when I was here at BYU. There was no such thing as that resource. You got some of the brightest minds that have taken companies forward, have raised capital, and know the capital sources, and they provide that at no charge to students. So I think they're on the 4th floor, aren't they? And just, I would visit them. Any others? Yes?
Recently I was looking online and I had an idea that I actually found, and that there's patents on it, kind of. And there's another idea I had that didn't have any patents on it, but they could tell the idea was there. We Googled it and stuff, you find stuff on it, but I haven't seen it in the market. Should I stop there, or should I try to move forward more?
Yeah, the question is, if you find in your patent search other patents that almost looks like maybe you're too late, what should you do? Actually, the patent office expects you to list other patents that you've found, because that gives your patent application higher credibility. It means you know there's other things, but then you have to show them why you think you've carved out a little niche in that area. So it's called prior art. You should list prior art, which means other patents. Gives you credibility, and you should go for it. You should file and let the patent office tell you that, because that's their job, to see if you've carved out a defensible niche that you can play with. Any others? Well, I hope you'll leave today understanding that ideas are coming to your mind constantly. Capture them. Have an idea log. When you come across the compelling one, get an NDA signed, move forward and take action and make your dream come true. and I'm there to help. Just send me an email, and you can tell why I enjoy this. When dreams come true, it is fun. Thanks, everyone. See you.